afternoon. For some reason, it doesn't look like it's playing the intro. I was just like, I started it. The intro's there. It's supposed to go that minute countdown. And like, wait a minute, why am I seeing my own face up here? So it looks like the countdown failed. Oh boy. Um, Strangeness, strangest. At least I think I'm on the air. I may not be. I don't know, but I'm going to assume I'm on the air. We'll move forward. You guys will let me know if I'm not here. So, but I have a feeling I'm here. I have a feeling I'm here. Wow, that was fun. That was fun. It actually, it actually returned a message to me saying, "Could not connect to the internet." I'm like, "What?" And then I noticed that I'm on the air. So anyway, let's let's move forward. Let's move forward. Welcome to the show. It was an erratic start. The show is not normally this erratic. Yeah, okay. Let's be truthful. It's pretty much this erratic most of the time. Oh boy. So we got ourselves a red market today, guys. We have a red market. And guys, I just realized I don't know if we have that sound issue right now, but I forgot to change that thing. Let me change that right. What a day. What a day. We're really having some fun here today. All right, there we go. That will fix the sound issue if it popped up for like a second. Like a second. But I think everything's a go now. Everything's a go. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to Friday. So we do have a red market going on right now. I'm gonna pull it up. Let's jump in here and see what we got. See what we got. So we do have a couple of green candles here at the end, but for the most part, the day's been pretty red. And it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of theories. There's no big definitive. There's no smoking gun as to why we got a red market today. A lot of people think it's because we've been at some pretty big all-time highs, and being at an all-time high this late in September, some people are taking profits, and that might be what's going on. We might be seeing some profit taking, which has pushed this market down. And I'll tell you, some people, I've already had a couple of comments that have been pointing out that the market for them hasn't been that red. So we'll take a look once we get to the heat map. It might be an isolated red for sure. So we'll see. The other possible reason for some of the retracement we're seeing today is just a little bit of uncertainty. People are like, "Oh my gosh, are we getting a rate cut or not?" Well, guys, no spoiler alert here. Yes, we probably are. In fact, last time I think I mentioned it, we were at about a 90% certainty of getting one. I believe now we're up to like 91.5, or I wouldn't even be surprised if we're up at 92. So it's looking pretty likely that we're going to get a rate cut. So uh, stop being uncertain. Stop being uncertain, people. Let the market behave. But maybe there were some dips in there. Maybe some of you guys found a good dip today. So here we are, negative, basically 0.39 to the downside. S&P 500, same idea. They're almost flat. They're currently at 0.01. You might as well say they're flat. The Nasdaq is up a tiny bit. They're up 0.39%. Dow Jones is down 0.52. And the Russell's been struggling a little bit. They're down 0.62. What can I say? What can I say? Gold today. Gold is doing good. Gold is up 0.35. Silver. Oh, hi-ho, silver. It's up 1.64%. Oh, boy. WTI. Oil also having they're up. They're up 0.81. But when you look at the chart, they've had a little bit of a retracement in there. That's a pretty big red candle there. So, and crypto looking okay. Bitcoin up 0.9. Ethereum up 4.19. Okay, let's look at this heat map and see if we can figure out where this redness is today. Because some of you guys are saying I'm not seeing the red. Yeah, we can see a little bit here in the banks. Most of the banks are down at least a little bit. Like Royal Bank down 0.56. TD's flat, 0.01 down. BMO's down about 0.18. National Bank 0.11. So yeah, Bank of Nova Scotia. Oh boy, Scotiabank down 1.24%. So we're seeing a little bit of it there. Absolutely. Uh-oh. I don't like to see this. My London Gold is down today. They're down 4.07%. Holy banana bread. I don't like that. I don't like that. Of course, London Gold, so those of you who are following the 0 to 100K challenge, they're currently leading the group. They're leading the group. So this could be this could be fun. Now there's a little bit of a shakeup happening at London Gold. At London Gold. And that might very well be why we're seeing a little bit of retracement there. So not so much the price of gold, more or less just you know, members of the board getting shuffled around a little bit. So that's always a fun thing. All right. Looking to the United States, look at Tesla. Tesla's having a great day. Tesla is up 6.88%. Boy, the rest of, Palantir is up 4%. But look at this. Microsoft is up 1.93. Apple's up 1.66. NVIDIA fairly flat, but they are up 0.23. Broadcom looks like their big run from yesterday has leveled out, up 0.19. Or sorry, 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago that Palantir exploded. Yeah, it's not too bad. Amazon pretty much, I think, out of the Magnificent Seven, I think Amazon's the only one who is in the hole at 0.88. Although Oracle, you could say Oracle too. They're down 4.81. And crypto. Very green day in the world of crypto. Not a lot of red. Like Bitcoin is up 1.86. Ethereum almost 5%. XRP doing fine at 2.17. Solana 6.31. And Dogecoin up 7.89%. So that's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Now, there are about 15,000 different crypto coins. I like to pick a random one, the opposite color of whatever Bitcoin's doing. So Bitcoin is green. I'm going to pick some red one. This is going to be a company or a coin I've never heard of before, hopefully. There was one day that I think I picked the same coin, 2 market closes in a row. It was hilarious. All right, here we go. It is Paribus. Paribus. I do not know what Paribus does, but interestingly enough, that little icon over here next to the Paribus, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Polkadot. So I'm wondering if this coin has got some kind of relationship. I don't know. This is just pure speculation. I have no clue what this coin does. And obviously, I'm never going to invest in it because it's a gamble. So these coins, all of these little cryptos, I call them crap coins. And it's like being at Vegas and throwing the craps. You probably are going to lose. So always be careful with the little coins. Read the white paper. Make sure you have some confidence in what it does. Do a whole helping load of research for sure. If you want to make money in crypto, there's lots to be made. And I usually say stick to your big boys, your Bitcoins, your Ethereums, XRPs, Solanas, and yes, even the Dogecoin is a much safer bet than playing with some of those little altcoins. Some of those little altcoins. Now, there is a lot of money that you can make in altcoins, but I'll tell you, it's risky as it's all risky as heck. So that's what I like to say. All right, now let's go back big screen for a moment and let's hit up the chat. All right, Brian is versed in the house with a good afternoon, everyone. And Brian bought yesterday, but's up 1%. There we go. There's our first person who did not seem to feel that there was a dip there today. Paul is in the house with a good afternoon. Lisa says, good afternoon, everyone. And yes, I'm live. I went live immediately. I don't know what happened. I have no clue what happened. You are here in vision and sound. Perfect. Let's see. Yeah, it's never erratic. Not like you would ever disappoint during a show or anything. I try to bring my own little level of eccentricity to the show and try to keep it as interesting as I possibly can. Jim says Happy Friday. Yes, absolutely. It's a good day. It's a good day for sure. I mean, the red market, yeah, but still, it's still a good day. Paul says, what red market? Tesla is up a second day in a row, point 0.3 plus 3.76 for the day. Yeah, Tesla's doing good. Tesla's doing good. I'll concede. I'm not changing the sign though. It's still red. Rory says, afternoon, everyone. And Jim says, my TFSA green and RRSP red, and my combined is red. All right, so there we go. Jim's backing up the red. And Kiev and Cass in the house with an afternoon gang. And let's see, Claude says, hello, London Gold CEO is stepping down. Do you think it's the reason the drop in the price? I actually kind of just mentioned that. Oh, and there, yeah. Oh, sorry, you answered right after I posted this. That always happens. And you know, it's funny, even when I am in the audience of somebody else's chats, half the times I ask a question and the answer comes out before my question even gets there. Because I'll tell you, and I'll even say, once you guys, like when you type a question in here, there's about a 30 to 40 second delay before it even meets my end, at least my end, before I can see it. And then usually I don't even have, I have everything down. I'm still up at the top. So as you guys probably saw last chat, holy banana bread, I was getting really far behind. But we went off the rails. We all went off the rails last time. We got way too much into the politics. And for a channel that's not politics, I gotta take ownership of that. I should not be reading all the politics stuff. Like, talk politics amongst yourself. I'm gonna be a little more picky on the political type comments because we're gonna try to keep things more finance focused as we move forward. But hey, yeah, we'll still go off on tangents. Don't worry. we'll definitely go off on tangents. Paul says SSK Rex Osprey Solana staking ETF is up 6.33% today. It was up yesterday too. Yeah, and when we saw Solana actually having a pretty good day. So that's not too shabby. Mary is in the house, and Mary is our official captain of the like button. So if you've not yet hit that like button, it's time. It's time to do it because I'm gonna have some coffee. While I'm having some coffee, you got nothing better to do but hit the like button. So let's do it, folks. Oh, God, that was so good. That was very good. All right. Jim says, hi, Mary. I hit the like button. Yeah, absolutely. Cece, ongoing low VIX, ongoing day, trading depression. Yeah, I mean, and we don't talk a lot about the VIX, but I will definitely say there's a lot of things, a lot of the main indicators. All of the indicators say that we're heading for some trouble. We're heading for some stormy weather. So it is going to happen. It'll happen for sure. It's just that I think the big thing is how long can we stave off, a recession? How long? I don't think it's going to be long. I'm still thinking beginning of the year, I thought we would have a recession by the final quarter. And obviously now we're not going to because we've only got one negative quarter right now. We need another negative quarter. And that's only a technical recession. They still have to call it. So if we have a recession, I'm thinking it's going to be early 2026 now. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Mary says, thanks, Jim. Let's see. Covered call investor, all green here, but MSTE. Yeah, that makes sense. And that's the thing, though. If you are a covered call investor like Lily, these type of days, your fund is making money. These are the type of volatile days where they can really write a lot of good options on those covered calls. So, it's not a bad thing. A volatile market is perfect for covered call funds without any doubt. And Roy says won't be doing any politics today. MSTE will get to $11 maybe. And just going back to this, I mean, when I was talking about the politics, it's not like we're not going to have any politics. We're going to have lots of politics. Lots of politics will come in and impact investing. So that's kind of where we gotta that's the lane that we're gonna try to hit. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. MSTE will get to $11 maybe. That would be interesting. Brian says, I dipped my toe in the Biggie ETF market yesterday. Had some dividend money to spend. Nice. So Biggie and Maple, those are the two new Evolve ETFs. So pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. And oh my gosh, guys, I forgot. I was going to double check on that 100% and see if I could get a definitive answer on whether they're writing, 100% covered calls to find out what that meant. I did not find that out. I know I started to look the other day. I just didn't get an answer. And I said, okay, all right, I'll look a bit more tomorrow, as in this morning. And I got caught up in getting the news ready. Bell time, guys. There's no warning. Sorry, I won't be loud. Oh my God, I almost missed the bell. Well, technically I was 17 seconds late, but thank you guys. I just happened to see the first bell popping up from Muggsy. So it was like, Muggsy saved the day. We'll have to get Muggsy a cape. Paul says Solana up 50% in the last 3 months. Your Sol.to should be red. Yeah, it's doing well. Like I think the last 0 to 100K challenge, it was in the top 5. It was either, was it 2 or 3? It was either second or third in the portfolio. So yeah, definitely doing good. And HBTE was also in the top 5. So we had both Sol and HBTE, and of course HBTE is that Bitcoin, the Bitcoin leaders one. I love that one. It's doing great, absolutely. Paul says your soul should be really good. I have a good soul. Except for on Halloween, maybe. Cece says, you don't think Wednesday's rate cut will trigger at least a correction? We'll have to sort of see what's going to happen with that rate cut. You have to remember, anything that we do see on Wednesday is not, it's more or less the psychology around it. So the actual effect of that rate cut takes time to filter into the economy. So we're not going to really see much happening that far after. Like, for example, both REITs and utilities, they tend to thrive well when there's rate cuts. So, this will help them. Is it going to send them to the moon? Probably not, but we'll probably see a bit more movement to the upside within the next couple of months, I think. But will we see a correction? It's hard to say, CC. Like, I've been expecting a correction for a long time because we've been, the TSX has been hitting all-time high after all-time high. And, well, you can only do that so long before there's a correction. Most of the data suggests a correction is coming, but it's really hard to call if we're going to get it because of this Wednesday rate cut. We'll see. I mean, we're on the air on Wednesday, so we'll definitely look at that for sure. Jack says, good afternoon. Litecoin to the moon. Rotated a bit more Google into LTC. Jack. You need to, Nate Palmatier, who's a friend of the channel, he's another big Litecoin fan. I think the two of you would get along well. Brian says, I didn't see Maple out yet, or I would have bought it. You know what? I've looked at Biggie. I haven't actually looked at Maple. I assumed that they were coming out at the same time, but maybe Maple is coming second. Well, let's wait. You know what? Let's check it out because I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of a little bit surprised here. All right. We'll come over here. Let's see here. MAPL. Ooh, you're right. It's not there because I know Biggie is, so BIGY, and there it is, the Evolve US Equity Ultra Yield right there. So it looks like Maple's coming out next. Okay. It's kind of weird. Normally, Normally, when they announce the two of them together, they release together. So that is funny. All right, now, all right. Mary is asking, all right, where can you stash some cash while waiting for the dip? Cash is not paying very much. So yeah, you're talking about cash as in right here. So we got cash. So this here is one of these. It's one of these cash ETFs. So I do like them, but yeah, I mean right now, if you look, um, where is our where's our distribution is there? Oh, they're not actually giving me a. That's interesting. Normally they will give me a. Oh yeah, here it is over here. The distribution yields 3.088%. Now, mind you, I believe what they're calculating on this distribution yield is the average over the last 12 months. So these will change, and I will pull us up here. Let me just take a look here, guys. Key data. We go into, and here we go. Yeah, if you look into their dividend, you can see at one point they were paying 0.55. So 1.55. Oh, they've fallen all the way down to 0.106. And I've been seeing this in a lot of these cash ones. So for example, I am in T cash. That's what I've been using. And let's head into that one. And let's pull this up here. And so they're showing 3.6%. But once again, that's over that last year. So when we come over here to the key data, and let's scroll down here, you'll see a year ago, 0.19. And look at this. The last one was only 0.086. So yeah, these are not, they're not pumping out the cash I'd like to see in one of these cash ETFs. So I can understand. It's nice to be able to sit them in there. I don't know what. So Wealthsimple, for example, if you're using Wealthsimple, they have their checking account, which used to be their cash account. I know there's interest paid on that, but I don't know what it is. If anybody here knows what it is, let me know. Those are kind of some of the options. The problem is some of the other options that you have are things that you lock in, like a GIC, for example. So right now, I'm still using Tcash because I just don't see anything better at the moment. But I need to find something, Mary. I need to find something better because I've been disappointed with the fact that these have been coming down, and that's never a good thing. All right. The door is closed. What door? All right. And Jim says, I think that might be Brian instead of Brain. But Brian, that income ETF rabbit hole has some powerful suction. Oh, and the Nightbot spilling my secret. Uh-oh. Jersky says, hello. I just started watching your utilities video. Hit a like, then got over here. Nice. And see, I am on a small green day. What do you think of HDIF, Harvest Fund? All right. Ooh, let's pull up HD. I haven't looked at them in a while. All right. HD. Here we go. HDIF. So this is your Harvest Diversified monthly income. All right. Let's pull this one up here. Well, we'll start with the 3-year. And you'll see that they've been moving up. They have been moving up. A little bit of volatility along the way, but, that's kind of norm for the course. But in the last 3 years, they've gone from 7.5 to 8.78. Now, you're also, and this is the best part, you are getting a really good distribution, a good yield, so you're getting 10%. That's not too shabby. So it works out to 7.4 cents per share. So when you look at it this way, you're getting a little bit of income, and it is moving up. Now, the problem is, and this is kind of this whole idea, like if you want to put money, like in a cash ETF, it's predictable. You kind of know when you can pull your money out. You're not going to lose anything. But imagine if you're holding your cash in here, and then something comes along. Well, we'll pick this one here because we know what this one is. I'm not sure what that one was. But this one here was Liberation Day. So, Trump's tariffs did this. So if all of a sudden you needed that cash and you want to buy because this happened, Well, guess what? It's also happened to this fund at the same time. So you'd be pulling out a lot less money to buy things at a cheaper price, and you're really not going to be that much further ahead than if you bought it when everything was up. So, yeah, I like it I do like this ETF. I think it's a fine hold to get a nice little bit of cash going. I just wouldn't hold it if I wanted to use it for storage of cash. Doorpat says hi all. There we go. Paul says that send button is too easy to press accidentally before you are done typing. I know. And Doorpat says no red September. So far, so far. Well, here. Let's go back. That's ETH. That's ETH. Let's go back here to the TSX. And yeah, so this blue line is where we ended August. And we're well above it. So as long as we stay above that blue line, we got a green September. And, you know, the S&P 500 is also in that same boat. So it is looking like we are having a green September. It's looking that way. I actually thought we would be either a little bit to the red or a little bit to the green, really close to being flat, but I'm calling myself wrong, and we're not even halfway in. I could still end up being right, but at this point, I think I'm wrong. I think I'm totally wrong. All right, LTC was finished last cycle. Okay, and let's see here. I prefer the diversification of HHIS over Biggie. All right, you do get a better diversification in HHIS. I am looking down the road that HHIS and all of the clones, I'll put Biggie in that category. I think we could do a pretty good battle with them, but we need some data. We're nowhere close. Like maybe next year at this time, we'll be doing that. Oh boy, oh, the cake is hitting the fan. Paul has brought the cake to the table, and Jim has brought popcorn. All right, we got cake and popcorn. What a combination! Actually, the interesting thing, guys, I'll tell you this funny little story. When I used to manage a team over in this one call center, I mentioned to one of the members because my birthday was coming up. I was like, you know, why don't we have birthday pies? Because I've always loved pies more than cake. And on my birthday, she actually brought me in a pie, a birthday pie. And I was just like, oh, cool. That was the only time in my life I got a birthday pie. But yeah, here's my question, guys. Let me just ask. Are you a pie person or a cake person? Because, you know, let's go big screen for a second. We got a poll that we can use for stupid things. Let's do a stupid poll right now. All right, pie or cake? I like it. We'll answer the question definitively for now. Which do you like better? All right, here we go. It's done. We got a poll. Oh boy. Let's see if I'm the only pie head in the house. Jack says, I don't know. I caught the last 4X on LTC in 2021 and bought a Lancer Evo 4 with the profits. Was young and dumb. Yeah, well, I don't want to say yeah, but I would have, yeah, imagine if you had invested that money or just kept it into, even if you threw it over into Bitcoin, you would have been, you could have bought multiple Lancer Evo 4s today. Paul says a cash fiat, if you have USD, STRC is 9.25% and pays monthly. And Emrit says, is Biggie just another HHIS, but with distributions twice a month? In a nutshell, almost. Yeah, it's in that same vein. I would call it an HHIS clone, but with more frequent distributions. And if you like, and some people do, I think, you know how dividends are addictive when you first learn about them. When you start investing, you learn about dividends, they're addictive. You know, oh yeah, this every quarter this dividend comes out. Then you learn about monthly dividends. Oh boy, they're even more addictive every month. So take that another step further, and twice a month dividends, I can see them being very addictive for some people for sure. Defense for cash safe, I'm using week 0.11 per week per share. Okay. Let's see. Lisa says I checked Wealthsimple today, 175 for 225 for over 100K. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's not a great rate. So you're still better off. It looks like you're still better off with the cash, but and yeah, Lily's saying 1.75%. Happy early birthday, Candace. And we got more cake. We got more cake. Yes, enjoy tomorrow, says Cece. All right. Harvest. Tesla had a good day, up 6.75. Sorry, Harvest. Al. Harvest Tesla had a good day, up 6.75%. And Amrit says Air Canada kept dipping down. I got a swing on that, and I'm waiting on that. Yeah, have some patience with the Air Canada. Like, you know, I get in at 19, and I'm looking at it and like, oh yeah, if I waited a week, I could have gotten in, you know, a little bit lower. But it'll be fine on the other end. It'll definitely be fine on the other end for sure. Paul, oops, that USD STRC is 97.25 USD and pays 83.33 a month. That's not too bad. So 10.26% below the $100 per value. Amrit says AQN looks very intriguing. I think the interest rate cut could cause a nice jump. I am thinking. Yeah, I think AQN is in a good place. I have dumped on AQN for a long time now because they've been a dumpster fire for the last couple of years. But they've sold off assets to take care of debt. They've been making all of the right moves. So I think AQN is going to look a lot better going forward. So yeah, absolutely. Paul says someone online was saying to pair HHIS up with QDay. Okay, well, here's the thing though. I mean, you know, HHIS is mostly tech and QDay is pretty much tech. So, you know, I don't know if you need to pair them, but I mean, you could if you want to. But just keep in mind that is, you know, if you're going heavy into both of them, then you're kind of doubling up on your tech exposure. Let's see. It's your birthday. You should have whatever you want. Well, yeah, my question though is, you know, do you prefer in general cake or pie? Cake or pie? Pie is currently winning, guys, 61%. I'm just putting that out there. QDay says sitting strong, trying to pick it up when it's around that $24 price point. And Paul is looking for a pie in a cake. That would be... And you could probably do that. That would actually be kind of wild. That would be kind of wild. Cheesecake. Cheesecake is good, absolutely. And pumpkin pie with whipped cream. You can't beat pumpkin pie. I am a big fan of pumpkin pie for sure. Jay, I miss those rum cakes from Safeway. Too bad it's too far away from my house. I've never been like any of the the rum cakes or some of the liqueur candies. I've just never liked them. But then again, I don't drink, so that was probably why. I mean, I used to drink, but even then, I didn't really like the taste of most alcohol. Rory, pecan is good too. And Jack says, yeah, I regret not reinvesting it, but I was 19. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, heck. I can probably list a lot of things in when I was from about 19 to 25, things I probably bought that should have been invested. A lot of wasted money for sure. Mario is saying pie. Jim says, I'm getting HHIS or HHIC next time I get my distribution from QDay, depending on which one is cheaper. Okay. Fair enough. Rory says we should parade all our ETF stocks bond holdings like the Moscow Victory Parade. An ETF parade. Oh, so there was a question I put out in the community tab. So I was asking you guys for S&P 500 ETFs, and there's a reason. There's a reason why I'm trying to get a whole bunch of them. And don't just give me your favorites. If you know of some obscure ones that are kind of sucky, give me those too. I'll take them all. I'll take them all because I'm going to do something with them. I am going to do something with them. And let's see if one of you guys can think, why could I possibly want a lot of them? What could I be doing with them? There's something I'm going to do with them. We'll see. We'll see if you guys can guess. And you may, I don't know, or you may not. Gursky says, I was thinking of picking up 50 Biggie yesterday, then decided only 25. Now I got FOMO. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Brian says, up 6% overall for the day. It was a pretty good day. I like it. I like it. Oh, pie is slipping down to 56%. Jack says, Rory, I already do. And, oh yeah, I'm not supposed to be talking. I'm not supposed to talk to the ones where you guys are talking to each other because that's how I get behind. Al says, come on, people, hit the like button. Okay, I can stop for that. Guys, hit the like button. I'm gonna have some coffee here. Oh, that is very good. All right. Brian, I saw in one of your videos that you have pizza as well. I bought it back at $9.85. Slowly growing, and dividends are good at my price. Yeah, Pizza has good dividends, and they are finally getting out. Like they were down for quite a while, but they have finally made a lot of movement to the upside, so they're doing a lot better for sure. Strawberry shortcake. Okay, fair enough. And guys, when I say I like pie more than I like cake, it doesn't mean I don't like cake. It just means I like pie more. That's all. So, yeah, I like strawberry shortcake is really good. Ice cream cake is very good. Rory says, I think Perry's PII verse has all of the ETFs. Haha, what a spreadsheet he has. I've not seen it. I gotta start browsing some other channels, I think. See what the competition is dropping up. Actually, the funny thing is when I look at other financial YouTube channels in the Canadian sector, I really don't see them as competition. I think there's room enough for all of us because, I know you guys. I know what you guys watch because it tells me on YouTube. So, I look at us all a big team. Like I can only fill so many hours of your time each week. We need other people. We need other people to fill up the rest for sure. Larry says up 48% on Scorpio tankings, 39 into 58. Nice, yeah. Ooh. I know you were talking a little bit about Scorpio before. It's good to see it's moving up. It's good to see. Hopefully it keeps on moving up for you, though. Jim says I watch movies. Then if they order pie I haven't tried yet, I go out and look for it so I can try it. Okay, that's interesting. Jay says frozen apple pies from Giant Tiger is quite decent if you get on sale. I do like that. And Larry saying tankers are a secret treasure. I can name 5 that are worth 3 to 5 times X more than what they're going for less than $10. Yeah. And I can actually I can see that being the case. It makes sense to me in my head. So I think, yeah, I say you're on to something with those. You're definitely on to something for sure. Jack says not S&P 500, but if I had to pick one ETF, VDY till I die. Okay. Interesting. All right. Paul says RRSP up 4.16% at the close. For the last 7 days, I'm 6.61% ahead of the S&P 500. Already like Snowball Analytics subscription. Yeah, I've heard that. I actually found, I did find another channel. I found, a tool on the internet, one that I could actually use to get, to calculate, because in the past, anytime I've done a calculation where I give you how much the total return would be with the dividends reinvested, I had to do that manually. It was a painstakingly long process to do it. But I did find a tool that does it for you. So that's pretty cool. I'll have to drop it. I don't have the link on me right now. I'll have to drop it over in the Discord though, because it is pretty good if you want to calculate some of your total returns that way. All right, Canada has a tanker ban. Do we have a tanker ban? Well, we probably do. Nothing surprises me. King Deuce, for those S&P 500, I bought on Outlier TPU and currently performing better than my ZSP. Both bought at the same time. Two different accounts. Let's see. And Larry says I reached over 80, though, to find a few good ones. That sounds about right. I heard a good one was TSPY. I think I have that in the comments. I think somebody did recommend that one as well. Are you taking some shots tomorrow? No, I don't drink. So no shots. No shots tomorrow. No alcohol. And no cake. I'm trying to stay away from things like cake right now anyway. Or pie. No pie either. So it's going to be a boring day. It's going to be a boring day for sure. What can I say? That's how it goes. So, all right, guys. Nobody guessed. Nobody even really took a shot. What I want these S&P 500 ETFs for is I'm thinking down the road here, and maybe sooner than later, I kind of want to make a tier list, an S&P 500 tier list. So that's kind of the goal. And I was like, you know what? If I just sort of pull the ones off the top of my head, I'll have a good number. But I'm going to miss one or two that one of you guys love. I will absolutely miss one or two. So that's why I'm like, yeah, guys, get them in there. That way they're your favorite, or maybe the one that you just want to know how bad it is, can make it onto that tier list. And and I'm still figuring out how to rank them, because that's going to be the big thing, because I'm thinking there almost has to be a line in the tier list where if you are not if you're not performing as well as the S&P 500, then you obviously have to be on the bottom side of that line. If you're performing better, on the top side. And with covered calls, we're gonna go with total returns. So I'm working it out. I'm still working it out, but it is a video idea that I have, and that's what I'm asking this for. Brian says I never use drip on my dividends. I always decide which stocks, ETFs to buy with my money. It's always different. And Lisa says, happy birthday, Candace. Nice. Thank you. Paul says, tanker ban only on the West Coast. They're not stopping any tankers arriving at Irving Refinery in Atlantic Canada. Okay, that makes sense, because I'll tell you, when Rory mentioned a ban on tankers, I was just like, that doesn't seem right. But yeah, maybe it's just one side of the country. That makes sense. Happy Friday, all, says Max. Nice. Can you do one with the NASDAQ? Well, obviously, if I do it with the S&P 500 and people like it, I'll almost have to do one with the NASDAQ next. That, though, I'll tell you, series-wise, this one's going to be limited, because probably I can probably do the NASDAQ. I can probably do the S&P 500. I don't even know if I can do the TSX. I don't know if we have enough indexes that directly reference the TSX. So I might have, or I could even perhaps go something even broader. But anyway, these are just thoughts at the moment. But the S&P 500 one is the one I definitely want to do. Larry says I will be the nuisance and say Berkshire as the S&P 500 name. Ooh. That's an interesting one. That is kind of interesting. And yeah, in many ways, they're pretty close. They're pretty close to being one. So, and that's the thing. I may make some exceptions and bring some in that are pretty close. Like another one somebody threw at me, HYLD. I'm like, yeah, that's very, very close. And probably will make the list, but we'll see. Paul says the S&P 500 ETF without the worst companies would be nice. Gursky says, no pie, no cake, so swing trades on your birthday. That's not exciting. There's no swing trades on my birthday. It's Saturday. USCL, yeah, I think that's in the comments. I think I definitely saw that one as well. Jay says, I noticed my net deposit went down a little bit withdrawing dividends as well. Simple calculates all withdrawals. I thought dividends should not count. That's a good question. That's a good question. It should, yeah. I mean, if you withdraw, like, this is the way it should work. So, what you deposit. Now, here's the thing. I don't know how they're doing the calculation. But in reality, how it works is what you deposit into. That's the only real thing that's counted when it comes to your contribution space, is what you deposit. So if you get dividends, they don't count. They just grow your space. Now, if you take the dividends out of your TFSA, you still get that space back. So that's permanent space that those dividends have created. But they should not be counted as a deposit going into it. So that is something I would pay attention to. Yeah, I would. Heck, if you're really concerned, I would even call Wealthsimple. Their customer service is pretty good. All right. Cece says, don't love it, but you could include SPXL as an extreme option. Yes. Yes. That's, I believe, that's one of the Beta Pro ones, I think. Yeah, I could include the Beta Pro ones. Why not? I'll have to have like a D tier. Like the D tier will be danger tier. That'll be fun. Jim says a TSX 30 Pure Growth ETF would be pretty cool. S-Max, Gursky says S-Max. Scratch says happy birthday, Candace. Best wishes. Defense says SPI and ISPY. I do believe, I'm almost certain I saw those in a comment already, for sure. HMAX. So let's see. Jim says, yeah, there's a tanker ban on the north coast of BC. Very interesting. Definitely very interesting. Holy banana bread. Well, we'll have to see. I mean, how are they transporting the natural gas from the Kitimat to Asia? They got to be using tankers for that. So how are they getting around that? I'm asking this because I don't know the answer. That's just something that popped into my mind. And one of the things that came out today or yesterday, they had announced that with some of the infrastructure projects, one of them is basically doubling the capacity of that Kitimat liquid nitrified gas. So they'll be able to ship out a lot more. Yeah, but they've got to be using tankers. They got to be using tankers. All right. And then I'll get back to you, Paul, in a second. I'm going to first deal with Paul, which is the same Paul. So this line of thought is probably appalling. Is the tanker ban on oil only? That's a really good question. Maybe that's the stipulation. Maybe natural gas has an exemption. And before Paul said, drip settings being turned on at Questrade really helps with the price of drip. Received my Palantir drip on September 10th, but the price was based on Palantir at $23.75 on August 29th. September 10th, $24.70. Okay, nice. Nice, absolutely. Rory says, I need to see a map in northern BC on how far the ban operates. Well, that could be. Maybe it doesn't operate all the way up there. Maybe that's why they chose Kitimat. That's interesting. All right. Roku is in the house and has some information for us. So regarding Wealthsimple, they don't know what you are withdrawing, and divs and capital gains after selling will trigger a reduction in your net deposit. I don't agree, but it is in the terms and conditions. Okay. So yeah, that's what they're showing. That not fair. Yeah. Now hopefully they're not reporting that. Hopefully the reporting is correct when it gets to the CRA, because the last thing I would hate to see is if they're recording dividends as contributions, then that's eating up your contribution room, and that's not how it's supposed to work. So I'm hoping this is just on their reporting to you, It better not be to the Sierra, and I have a feeling it won't be because I think there would be. If it was, holy banana bread, people would be leaving Wealthsimple in droves. If your dividend growth is not is eating up your contribution room, because think about it this way: if that were the case, and you had your TFSA maxed, well, then every time you received dividends, that would push you over your max and you would get a penalty for that. So, yeah, it can't work that way. So, it absolutely has to be how they're reporting it to you. Yeah, it absolutely has to. All right. Okay, more on the oil tankers. So, Jim says the tanker ban is targeted for oil tankers, but it's there to keep the oil drill platforms out of Hecate Straits and Dixon entrance. Okay. Okay. And Roku says it's only to maintain your bonus they give you for moving money there. Okay, there we go. That makes sense. That makes a little bit more sense. Perfect. I don't have to go into the outrage mode. I like that. I like that I don't have to get outraged. Amrit says channel members post would be nice for the return calculator just because I do not have Discord. Okay, all right, Amrit. I will. I can do that. Actually, I won't even do channel members. Let's just do that for everybody. Let's do that for everybody. I'll get that. I'll get that together tonight, and I'll get that. I'll put a channel member post out there for you. Paul says it prohibits tankers carrying more than 12,500 metric tons of crude oil or persistent oil products from stopping, loading, or unloading at ports or marine installations along BC's north coast. Okay, there we go. And that's the thing. That's the thing. It is just it's basically oil. So that is good. I like that. I like that. Larry says new iPhone tomorrow, so 17. Do people still buy the day? I don't know if Apple fans do that still or not. I know at least one supreme Apple fan, and I guarantee, he won't go up and he won't line up for it. He would have pre-ordered it, and either I don't know if they would drop it at the shop or it get delivered to him right away. But I haven't heard of these big lineups anymore. But and I mean, here's the thing. The phone looks great and everything, but how many people are gonna upgrade? Especially if you upgraded last year, there's no need to be upgrading this year. I'm still on an iPhone 11, and I probably need an update, but it still works. It's still functional. It's still meeting all my needs. So, but I'll tell you, I was looking hard at that orange one. I really like that color of orange, and it's tempting. I'm not going to put any money on it, but I'll tell you, when I am ready to upgrade, I'm hoping that orange is still available because, yeah, it looks pretty good, and it's a nicer color than currently. I have a red one, so it's a nicer color. Rory says we'll fly our oil everywhere. Oh, I don't think you could really transport oil in any significant amounts in the air, though. That would be you'd be burning a lot of diesel fuel to do that, or jet fuel. CC, approximately $30 ETF. It is opened and closed within 10 cents for the past 6 days. So spooky. Which ETF are we talking about? Just give me a name of that ETF so I can take a look at it. CC, I'm not sure which one we're talking about. Brian says, I thought we were trying to export oil out of the West Coast as well. Are there any oil export ports in BC? So, yeah, right now it's still liquefied natural gas. And even with these first projects that were announced to be fast-tracked, it's only expanding that liquid natural gas exporting. It's basically doubling what can get sent out of Kitimat. There's the pipeline that we currently have from Alberta to BC. It's for liquefied natural gas. It's not a crude oil pipeline, and that's one of those other pipelines that we kind of want to see. Now, in the announcement, so the things that were announced, there were no pipelines in there at all. Danielle Smith actually said she was happy with seeing what's initially on the list. Now, the next round of items are due to come out by the Grey Cup. I don't know when the Grey Cup is. I think is it November, guys? Is the Grey Cup in November? I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, that's when the next round of announcements are to come out, and then there's also supposed to be another round that are out by. I think he said I don't know if he said that by the by the Super Cup and then by the Stanley Cup, or maybe it's just the Stanley Cup. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Let's see here. Larry says, "Yeah, I got 16 last year, and it's great from my last one in 2010." Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. Exactly. Gursky says, "I need a notification when Maple drops." I will say out loud, Maple has dropped. Now I'm gonna go and watch and see if I can find out what's going on with that one. Jim, I'm gonna have some coffee first, Jim. Let's see. Let's see. Vancouver, but they have to go under the second Narrows Bridge, and that limits the size of the tankers. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Rory says Vancouver Port has sewage and diesel from ships anyway, and yeah, November. All right, I thought it was November. Awesome, awesome. Roberts Bank is all railway that ships products. Go BC Lions. Do we actually like this? They're still playing, aren't they? Right now, like we don't yet know who's going to be in the Super Bowl or the Grey Cup. Paul says the moratorium only regulates tanker activities. These prohibitions are limited to the northern BC coast, geographically defined. Burnaby Oil Port is outside that restricted area. Okay, interesting enough. Bismarck is saying Argos. All right, I'm going to pick my team. I live in Ottawa, and I'm not going to pick Ottawa. I am going to pick, you know what? I got to go with Calgary. I'll choose the Stampeders. You know, go Stamps. Do it. Do it. Um, or maybe people will just stamp all over the Stamps. Who knows? I don't even know if they're in contention. I don't really follow football. And that's why I could, even if I wanted to, I couldn't choose Ottawa because I don't know the name of the team here. um, yeah, I really don't. All right. Brian says the locks in the St. Lawrence limit us on the other coast as well for tanker size. We'll never export enough if we can't open up some ports. Yeah, no, we need to open up ports. And this is kind of that whole thing. We need to be able to come up with a solution. Now, I think the solution that the current government has been thinking about is Churchill. So that would be like, I think they can operate maybe 9 months a year using some icebreakers, but I think they can operate 9 months a year. So, there'll be 3 months, that we can't operate. Let's see, Rough Riders in Saskatchewan. Oh, and thank you for the cakes. Thank you for the cakes. Let's see. Rory says mostly NHL fan here. Oilers, Leafs, Canucks. Okay. All right. Well, 2 out of 3 NHL teams aren't bad. I'm just not a fan of the Leafs. And I don't know what it is. It's because I'm a Montreal fan. I like the Canadiens, and it's hard. It's hard to like the Leafs. It was hard to even try. Now, if we ever got into a situation in the playoffs and the Leafs were the only Canadian team left, I would begrudgingly cheer for them. Begrudgingly, but I would. The Red Blacks. Okay. See, I knew we used to have, I think we had another name in the past, but I think it was a racist name and had to get changed or something like that. Or no, or were we also the Rough Riders? I don't know. It's confusing. I don't understand the NFL that much. Oh, defense. Now, your emojis are after my heart because I see them pumpkin pies in there. That's awesome. Brian says, I was at the Argo game once. Exhibition Stadium was cold. Rory says, Carey Price was traded. Yes, he was traded to San Jose. But I mean, he's been out of commission for so long. I don't know if he's ready to play, but if he is, um, you know, good for San Jose. Good for San Jose. And I don't even know what. I honestly don't know what Montreal got for Carey Price. Whether it was draft picks or what it was, but I'm sure we got something. Ooh, ooh, ooh! Lisa's in with some more pumpkin pies. Jim, there was a crude pipe, the Trans Mountain. It goes to Vancouver. Okay. Oh, okay. So that is crude, is it? All right. There we go. Fair enough. Fair enough. My mind has been on that LNG on Kitimat for so long. It's like, yes, you're right. You're right. So yeah, there we go. It was the Rough Riders. Okay, yeah, there we go. And I think it was Edmonton that had the name that had to be changed because it was not an appropriate name. Let's see. And Brian says yes, Rory, a cap space trade. All right, and let's see here. I have to do this one. I said I'm not going to touch ones if you're talking to somebody else, but I will for this one. Sorry, Rory, the cup will come back to Canada with the Habs. There we go. There we go. Rory says, I used to be a one of those fans. That's the word that I'm not going to say on the air, but the name was changed. Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Two teams with the same name. Yeah, and that's confusing. Could you imagine in the olden days? And the Rough Riders are leading the Rough Riders. Well, you pretty much couldn't even use Rough Riders. You'd have to just talk. It would be Saskatchewan and Edmonton, or sorry, Saskatchewan, Ottawa, Churchill. Yes, good old Churchill. Jack says, "Wow, I can't believe that Price has to retire in a Habs jersey." Yeah. Well, he's gonna retire probably in a San Jose jersey. Habs look to be exciting this year. They've got some good young players, and they're starting to already do well. So they've been in the dumps for so long, but they've been picking a lot of good picks. They've been getting a lot of good low level picks. That's going to be good. I think they've got an exciting team in the future. I don't think they're going to be challenging for the cup probably within the next 5 years, but it's a good team. I think it's a good team. Amrit says, I think Enbridge made sort of purchase as well, expanding, so might be a good thing for ENB. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Even with utility companies, this is a good time to be looking at expanding stuff and getting stuff going, especially if interest rates go even lower. It lowers that bar for borrowing, and that is a good time if you're looking to either eat up another company or just add some more assets. Yeah, it's definitely a good time for sure. Let's see. Jack says, yeah, they didn't change the Chicago Blackhawks name. No, they did not change that one. And I imagine now with that our big giant orange Smurf leader to the south, it probably won't get changed. Rory says I'm up 44% on National Bank. They are expanding projects in the U.S. too. Sorry, I said on NB. All right, I don't know why I said National Bank. I saw NB and I just thought National Bank. They're NA. All right, ENB. Okay, there we go. Because I was like sitting here thinking, who is NB? Who is N? I was at a loss. That's why I think that's why my mind went to National Bank, because I could not see where it was going. But Enbridge. Okay. Amrit says, what is the underlying holdings of Maple? Thinking it is like HHIC. Probably closer. Yeah, I would say closer to HHIC. I can't remember the exact things it's holding, but there's going to be definitely some big overlap. Excuse me. Paul says Tesla up to 45.10 this week and 12.34 USD last week. Hope this is correct. I got from Invest Answers Discord. What is the ticker on the TSX for the Habs? I don't think. No. They are. They are. Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's go find out. They are. All right. We'll come back over here. And all right. I am, for some reason, I'm thinking that they are in here somewheres. I thought they were. Whoops. I thought they were. Oh boy. Bank of Montreal, Canadian Banks, Bank of Montreal, Beta Pro, Mega Long, 3x on the Canadian Banks. Oh boy. Megalong. I should look at Megalong here because I haven't really looked at Megalong. These are some more of these really big, leveraged ETFs. I thought though. Hold on. Let's find out. Let's find out here. All right. Let's see. Let's see here. I thought they were. I really thought they were. Bum. No, maybe they're not. Maybe they're not. Canadian stock market, TSX. Let's just try. I'll just try ticker. We'll see. There we go. I don't think so. Well, I guess technically they're owned by Bell. So if they're owned by Bell, if you're investing in Bell, then, or are they owned by Bell? Bell owns their arena. See, now I don't know. All right. This is something that I'll have to have a long conversation with somebody about because I honestly don't know. Whoops, I skipped ahead to Jack. Rory first. Will Connor McDavid sign for more than 1 year? That's interesting. I do not know. All right, we'll get back here to the big screen. Can you buy Montreal Canadian stock? I thought I saw them once, but I definitely was mistaken. So I don't think you can, but definitely should check it up. And here, Bismarck, yeah, Molson, of course, Molson Core. So you can invest in Molson, but you can't invest directly into the Canadians. So what can I say? So Group CH owns the Canadians. Leaf stocks would be a great candidate to covered call ETF. Yeah, there'd be a lot of volatility for sure. Rory says, every time I went to an Oilers Habs game in Edmonton, those Habs fans, yeesh, committed. Yeah. Well, I know one of the few games I went to at the Saddle Dome in Calgary was Montreal coming in, and there were a lot of Habs fans. And the game I went to see, Montreal did win. But sometimes you could hear the chant in the audience. Go Habs, go! Then the Calgary fans would try to respond back, but I thought it was kind of funny. So yeah, part of Molson's, and then yeah, Bell has the naming rights to the Bell Center. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I just read the Molson family acquired the 20% owned by Moore's Coors Company. Jay says you get lots of premiums dumping a Leaf jersey on the ice. Maybe. S&P 500 ETFs. You do not want equal weight ETFs. I don't like equal weight, but and this is the thing that I guess not so much with the I'm trying to remember who it was. I was listening to one fund manager who was talking about going with yield weighting, and yield weighting is where it's basically and was this for HHIS? I think it was. Yield weighting is basically where you base your percentage on how much a fund is making. So whoever's making the most gets the bigger portion of your portfolio, but you cut them off at a certain spot. And actually, no, it wasn't HHIS, it was HHIC, because I remember the example that was used was Spotify. So yeah, it was over at Harvest. And what he was saying is that if we didn't, with yield weighting, if we sort of went completely equal and let them get as high as they wanted, then Spotify would make up a big chunk of that fund. So they put a weighting of like 15%. So Spotify obviously will get 15%. And then, everybody else will get whatever share depending on their returns. And I like that. I think that's a really fair way to go. All right, let's see. Scratch says, anyone in silver miners? AG is looking great. Yeah, silver's I mean, this is a good year for commodity. Gold, silver, and copper. Copper, I think, is going to have a really good next couple of years. And I got a story. Actually, got a story on copper that's coming up on the news on Sunday. So you want to check in for that. Let's see. Jeff Molson owns the Habs. You can't go wrong with Leafs falling in the spring. Yup, that's what happens. Let's see. And you know what? Even when the Leafs have a good year, they're just not a playoff team. They're not a playoff team for sure. Jack says if the Leafs ever make it to the finals again, I am betting my life savings on them losing Game 7. Losing Game 7 in the second overtime period. There we go. Buffalo hates Leaf fans. The arena in Buffalo is full of Leaf fans. Yes. Oh, I mean, and I will say one thing. I'm going to give the Leafs a lot of credit here. Leaf fans are absolutely, they're really devoted to their team. You know, I remember I had a friend, a former roommate who was a Leafs fan, and he was like just as dedicated as you could get. And he was like, before I die, I want to see the Leafs win a cup. That was his only dream. Unfortunately, he did pass away and never did get to see the Leafs win a cup. But it's just that dedication. I've never seen, any group of fans that can take disappointment year after year after year continually. Although I'm gonna put this out there too. It's been a long time since anyone in Canada has had the cup. Well, I think the last time the cup was in Canada was it 1990 something. I'm thinking 1994. I don't know. I think it was back when Patrick Waugh was on the Canadians. It's a long time. Rory says, and watch Steve Dangle burst a vein in his head. Sports guy on YouTube. Let's see. It was ECHI, I think. All right. Yes, Rory, if you're a goalie, tend the goal. All right. Steve is funny. All right. We've really gone down. We've gone down this huge hockey hole. But hey, we're Canadians. What do you expect? Scratch says, Ivanhoe seems like a good entry for copper. Yeah, so there's Ivanhoe. And also, there's also Mara. I do like Mara. It's a very small one. Is it Mara or Mary? I think it's Mara for some reason. Let me just take a look here. Yeah, it's Mara. So yeah, and it's another copper company. They're pretty close to being a penny stock. Well, let's take a look here. Mara. Here we are. Not that one. It's a Canadian one. That's Mara Holdings. Uh-oh. Maybe Mary. Oh, there it is. Yep. I thought so. Mara Copy Corp right here. All right. Well, they're not a penny stock anymore. $9.59. Now, one of the interesting things about copper, guys, is that, yeah, when I said close to a penny stock, yeah, they were like $3 at one point. Now they're like $9.50. Oh, they've really exploded. But we're in this situation where there is going to be a copper shortage in the future. And we're not talking very far in the future. We're moving towards a copper shortage. So copper companies are going to do well. And this here is a good, to me, this is a good company that, get your feet in. Long time, I think you're going to be good. Also, Tech Resources. Now, they actually, they're merging with, what is it? Anglo American. And they're going to become Anglo Tech. And I think they're going to be really good. I think it's going to be a really great company. But I've got more on them on the news as well. So what is that gold ETF again? Are we looking at GLLC? Let me just see here. GLLC. Here we go. Uh-oh. GLL. I was sure it was C, but all right. No, it's not. It's not C. See, it's one of these days where my mind is just not pulling together the numbers. Somebody in chat, drop it in there. You guys know what it is. You guys know what it is. I should know what it is. GL. Ah, oh well. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out here. It'll pop into my head probably before the end of the stream. Jay says, "How could you lose to a Zamboni driver who works for them? That is hard to beat." Yeah, there we go. 93. 90. I knew it was back. I knew it was back then. I was thinking 93, 94. Yeah, 93. All right, 1993. That Zamboni driver game will be talked about for centuries from now. Yeah, that's the guy who became the goaltender, right? No politics, but now it's sports. Yeah, I know. What can I say? Kelly is late, but I'll rewatch. Okay, we'll see you in the rewatch. Rory says, so we would have kept our pennies. There we are. GLCC. Duh! GLCC. There we go. It's two C's, not two L's. All right, here we go. So GLCC here. The Global X Gold Producer Equity Covered Call ETF. I'm just going to pull out the last 3 years. I mean, as gold has had an amazing year, so has GLCC. I mean, look at this. This is really great growth, and I think there's still a lot of room for gold to go. Now, at the same time, you're getting a 6.154% dividend. It's not a super high dividend, but it's a pretty high dividend considering the fact that you're still taking advantage of a lot of this growth. So total return wise, this is going to look pretty darn good. Pretty darn good for sure. All right. Actually, I really should I'd love to do a deep dive on GLCC now that I think about it. Scratch says GDX or GDXJ if I remember correctly. All right. And let's see. Evolve has a tech ETF to invest in Mag 6, Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Netflix, and Microsoft. Interesting. Yeah. They've got the Mag ones as well, and I do like that as well. Emrit says, interesting, Ivanhoe went from 52-week low of 876 to 2095. A big climb for copper. Yes, and that's the thing. Part of it is all of the news of that merger between Teck Resources and Anglo American. That brought a lot of it put a spotlight on what's happening within copper and the fact that we're heading towards shortages, and copper is being used in everything. You know, it's not just the wiring in your house. It's being used in everything from data centers to defense. Oh boy, it's got a place everywhere. So I think it's going to be big. I think so. You know how people have been speculating on lithium for the longest time, and you never really got that giant growth that a lot of people thought we would get with lithium. I think with copper we will get that growth. I'm very bullish on copper, and I really do need to open a copper position sooner than later because I do feel like it's going to go up. All right, Amrit says, debating if I should expand on GLCC or will it dip down? I was looking at them in November and they were like $25. Now it's like $46. Well, this is my question I would always ask in this situation with this is the economy about to completely fix itself anytime soon? If the answer is no, then more than likely gold is still going to be that destination for people getting more and more worried with what's happening with the economy. And that's going to that'll hold value on a lot of these gold stocks, a lot of gold ETFs, all of those fun things. So yeah, that would be fun. Amrit says, a copper industry deep dive would be very neat. It would be. It would absolutely be neat. And don't worry, with copper set to do some great things, we will definitely be revisiting copper big time. All right, guys, I've caught up with you. We're at about an hour 18 here. So if you got your last minute questions, get them on in, and then we'll answer them all up, and then I'll head into my birthday weekend. I will be back on Sunday, by the way. We do have a This Week on Sunday. Brian says, I do a lot of work for a transformer recycling company. Ooh, that sounds fun. They extract the oil and all the metals. Copper is the key metal. They have been doing well with scrap copper prices. Yes, that I can definitely believe. People are stealing copper a lot these days. Oh yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. A lot of new housing structures, a lot of them are posting security guards because once they start the wiring, the thieves come in at night and steal the copper. It's not pretty. Um, yeah, copper's not cheap, and it's going to get more expensive. Commodities are so cheap that you can't lose much if you are patient. Absolutely, 100% true. Yeah, absolutely. Amrit says any particular gold stocks you know to look at. Otherwise, I'll keep plunging into the GLCC covered call. Well, the nice thing about GLCC is you're getting that wide exposure. But right now, you could quite literally take all the top gold stocks, put them on a dartboard, blindfold yourself, and throw a dart, and you make a profit. That's kind of the situation we're in with gold at this moment. All right. Mary says happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you. Rory saying happy birthday, and another thank you. Thank you. Equinox Gold, maybe. Yeah, there's another one. Um, the big thing is though, once gold starts, and here's the thing: once we get on the other side of the mess of the economy and things are starting to stabilize, like actually really stabilize, that's when you're going to want to take some profits. I'm not saying you have to sell all your gold, but it won't hurt at that point in time to take some profits because as the economy starts to get back to normal, people will start pulling money out of gold. Other people will be taking profits, and that will bring the price down a little bit. So, once you get up there, yeah, definitely. And I have a feeling though, we're probably going to have, I would say, I think even 2026, I think is still a safe bet for gold. We'll see how we're looking towards the end of 2026. I'm not going to call 2027 at this point. Brian says, yes, a lot of copper thefts. I've put up a lot of camera poles, brackets, etc., secured areas of the yard, containers, fences. Yeah, exactly. Paul says, would WPM capture most metals, lend money for 20% of the production, if I have that info correct? Um, WPM. Who is WPM? I'm just trying to think here. WPM. Let's pull up WPM. Wheaton. Wheaton, of course. So yeah. And let's just take a look here, guys. Let's pull up Wheaton here and let's look at them for the last year. And look at this. So they've gone from 70, well, about 80, in the $80 range up to 147. Holy banana bread. Now this here is mostly going to be growth. Like you'll notice here, you've only got a 0.612% dividend, so it's pretty much going to be your growth stock. But yeah, look at them. They're just on fire for sure. So yeah, very bullish on Wheaton. All right, and Brian says happy Candace, happy birthday with the pumpkin pies. The Goose Mine started its operation in northern Canada with BTO. And Paul says, do not see anything. Oh! Holy banana bread. All right, here it is, guys. This here is Wheaton Precious Metals. We are there. And yeah, here is that here is that climb I was talking about. Very, very nice. And as I said, very small dividend. This is all growth. And you guys might have missed, did you guys miss GLCC as well? Let's just go back. I'll go back to that one too because here we go. Here's the GLCC. Let's take a quick gander at this and whoops. All right. My scroll mouse. I probably need a new mouse. My scroll button doesn't always work the best. And just looking at the last year of that, once again, pretty nice climb up. So this is going from 28 to 46. And this one has that 6% dividend. So not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. We do not see your screen. And Kelly in with a super sticker. Holy banana bread. We got a Friday goat. We have a Friday goat on our hands, folks. So nothing. That's a good way to start the weekend. A good way to start the weekend. Thank you very much, Kelly. I certainly appreciate it. And Paul says, up and to the right is my favorite without all the speed bumps up and down. It's always nice to have a big movie, but keep in mind, a lot of times that little bit of volatility as you're on the way up is pretty healthy. It can be very healthy for movement and for growth. So it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it. All right. Well, guys, looks like we've all caught up. It looks like we've all caught up. This is what I don't know how many more warm weekends we have left, but enjoy this weekend. I will, of course, be back. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Jonathan, no! I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Happy birthday, Candace. I've scheduled a skydiving lesson for you tomorrow. I'm going to hide underground. We've got a basement. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to grab a pole and just hold on. I'm not going. I do not want to skydive. I do not want to skydive. Paul says on Wednesday, DC Dakota Gold I mentioned was up 10% the next day. Yeah, exactly. And well, hey guys, take a look at this. I got to bring it back up. Got to bring it back up. DC. Here we go. Let's see here. DC, Dundee. Or sorry, you were talking about the Dakota. The Dakota Gold. Oh, I think I clicked on the wrong DC. I clicked on a DC, a US one, but this is the one I wanted right here. All right, let's pull this up here. And yeah, here is Dakota Gold. And here's that big jump. That big jump that they had. So not too shabby. They have pulled back a little bit since then. A lot of times that will happen after you get a big jump. Usually after you get a big jump, you might go up a little bit more, but then you normally will correct. But you're normally correct to above where you were before. So that's always a good thing. All right. Holy banana bread. Now, let's come back to the big screen and we're gonna attempt. Whoops, that's the wrong big screen, this big screen. We're going to attempt to get out of here one more time. Maybe a great question will pop up on my way out and I'll grab it before I go like last one. But anyway, guys, enjoy your weekend. I will be here Sunday. We'll have a this week and we got some great news stories. We got some great news stories for then. So bring yourselves, bring your eyeballs, and we'll see you on Sunday. Until then, guys, take care. Bye-bye. Whoops. I don't think it's working. I don't think it's working. I'm going to try this again. All right, guys. Goodbye.